Yes, we are.
Are you there?
Take one. And action. Hi, YouTube. I'm Alexis.
I'm Chris.
And we are starting a YouTube channel, so welcome. This is Debt After Dark. And basically we're gonna be talking to you about all things debt, how to get out of it. We're gonna give you some insight to who we are and where we are on our journey with getting out of debt. And the reason that we call it Debt After Dark is because it is nighttime right now. It is the only time that we can shoot a YouTube video, and that is while the baby is sleeping. So that's Elliot. That's Elliot, and he's asleep. So this is us shooting a YouTube video. Hoping that you guys will love the content that we make on here.
Yeah, hopefully you guys can, get some of the tips that we share. And I guess to give you a little backstory, so we actually took Dave Ramsey's course, Financial Peace University, give or so about a year ago.
Like a year,
yeah, give or so about a year ago. We've been married for 4 years.
Going on 5.
Going on 5.
Yes.
Going on 5 years. And let me tell you, I don't think finances was ever an issue for us, but we've always had our finances separate.
Yeah.
Thinking like, hey, I make money, you make money, let's
we're good.
Yeah,
we're fine like that.
We're fine. Let's transfer the money to the savings. You give me half the rent, and I'll figure it out, and I'll kind of pay it.
Yeah.
Which was great, and I think it would have worked fine. But as a married couple, you're not married at that point. I think.
Yeah. There was a couple things. Like for example, before we got married, Chris was trying to get me to move in with him, and I was like, that is the one thing I will not do until we're married. And so that was my non-negotiable. And then we took Dave Ramsey's class, and we found out that he really strongly believes in couples, married couples combining their finances. And we were like, okay, I think this is a new non-negotiable. This is something that we have to do. And it just felt right. It was a conversation that we never really had. We knew what the other was making, but it was never let's have one bank account. And not particularly for any reason, but I think maybe the fact that I was freelancing kind of had something to do with it too. I had a lot of debt, student loan debt, credit card debt. And some months as a freelance graphic design artist, I would make upwards of $3,000. Other months I would make $600. And so I was just really embarrassed about my money and my spending habits, my debt, all that stuff. And that was something that I never really shared with him.
Yeah. So yeah, I think step one, at least for us, was combining the finances. I think that was kind of, I don't want to say milestone in our marriage, but I think it's really helped us. It's kind of aligned our goals, aligned. We're more together than we were before.
Absolutely.
And now I think we're comfortable, speaking about finances, which is another reason why we want to kind of do this.
Finances, just finances in general, are just so taboo to talk about. People, it's like the skeletons in your closet.
Yeah.
People don't like to talk about it. We have people that we try to help with debt and stuff too, and they don't want us to see their debt. And I get that. I understand that it's embarrassing because one of the factors of getting into debt is not understanding the way that credit cards and student loans and all that stuff works, and that's stuff that we'll get into later on. But just kind of just know that if you wound up at this video, you're probably in debt.
So are we.
Yeah, so are we. And you're not alone, and you don't have to be embarrassed because so many of us have made the same, I don't want to say mistakes, but uneducated decisions.
Yeah, that's good.
So
that's good. I think let's, since we're on the debt subject, let's give them the amount.
Yeah, so our starting amount was just over $55,000. It was 55 and change. and that was the bulk of it is student loans.
Yeah.
And then credit cards and medical bills.
So yeah, 26 in student loans, and
Right.
then I have
Plus
10 in student loans, which
yeah.
is 36.
And then add all the
yeah,
other stuff,
some
credit
small
cards, medical
credit
bills,
cards and
all
things
that
like
stuff,
that.
55.
So that's kind of where we started, and that's one of the first things that we learned in the Dave Ramsey, the financial piece, was to kind of write it all down.
Yeah, list it out.
Yeah, list it off smallest to largest, and then and we're gonna go over the baby steps to kind of show you what the Dave Ramsey's principles are, and then we'll kind of give you tips on some things that we do and some things that we kind of changed and kind of tweaked to our own.
Especially now, by the way, when this video is being shot, COVID-19 is happening. So like, we have both taken pay cuts. People, like countless people, have lost their jobs. People are like, how in the world do you expect me to save $1,000? It's hard, you know, for some people. For other people, it's not that hard. We thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than it wound up being for us. But that all came from actually listing out our debts and saying, yeah, $2,000 eating out a month is not okay.
Yeah.
And I know you might be like, oh my God, $2,000, but like, take a look at your bank account, because you might be spending just that much. Uber Eats and DoorDash and Grubhub, all of those. It's just like, it's so easy to pay these fees for convenience. So basically what I'm saying is you're gonna wanna write down all of those, like just truthfully, just write down your bills, see where your money goes, you know, pull the transactions from your bank and see what you're spending money on, where your money's going, and then start cutting stuff out.
Yeah.
If you realize you're spending too much money in one place, you know, cut that out, and that money that you're cutting, put it towards that emergency fund, that first $1,000. So that's step one. Step two is where we're at. We're very much in the beginning of our debt-free and wealth journey. But step two is the debt snowball. So for that, you're gonna want to list your debts from smallest to largest. So at that point, you're not, you've already, you know, saved your $1,000. Now you're listing your debts smallest to largest. This includes any kind of debt. Student loan debt, credit card debt, medical bills, like anything that's outstanding, anything you have in collections, like anything. List them all out, smallest to largest. And that's the order you're gonna wanna tackle them in. Some people would argue that there are other ways to tackle this, but the whole principle behind why Dave tells us to do it this way is for motivation purposes. So more than anything, once you pay off that first debt, let's say your smallest debt is $50 on a credit card, you know what I mean? You pay that $50, now you've got a zero balance on that credit card, and you can officially, if you want to, cut that card up, throw it out, never use it again, whatever you want. Now you're like, okay, perfect, I paid off my first $50, like let's move on to the next card or the next debt. And so basically the whole thing behind it is gaining this momentum, gaining a motivation, and that's why it's called the snowball. So it's like the snowball effect. You start off as this little snowball at the top of the hill, and you roll, and as you go to the bottom, you're, you know, rolling on. You start from your smallest debt to the small one, and then you go, and you go, and you know, you make it down to your biggest debt, and essentially after you get to, like, after you start tackling those smaller ones, you just are like super excited, and that's kind of where we're at. How much have we paid off now? Like, so close to 6.
Yeah, so we've really gone hard, I think, since about January. So since January, from the 55, we're down to 48 and like
change.
$30. So we're
like 60 something, like 48 and 60 something.
We'll call it 47. So I mean, you know, we've managed to pay off a significant amount in 2 months, and that's, you know, that's a lot of hard work. But the debt snowball helps a ton, and especially I think writing it down and getting that visual was like a huge game changer.
It was also like a huge slap in the face. Well, because we were like, oh my God, like this is how much debt we're in. Like, and don't get me wrong, like you might be watching this video and you're like, $55,000 is nothing, or you're like, oh my God, $55,000. Like some people, you know, they're in $8,000 of debt and they feel like they're never gonna get out. So
Yeah, like, and then I guess to go back, I mean, writing it down and then scratching it off.
Yes.
I think that's a plus. Like she was saying, that momentum, you scratch the 50, you get the next one, you scratch it off, and then you start getting excited. I'm getting into debt is not a math problem, if not you wouldn't be in debt, and I think that's one of Dave Ramsey's things that I've always heard.
Yeah, it's so
you know, it's an emotional thing. So being able to get off a small win, I paid off 50, done. I paid off 100, done. Let me move on to my next smallest. I paid off 1,000, and now you're really getting that momentum, and it's just, that's kind of been helping us now, and I think we're on track. I mean, we've paid off about 4 or 5 small debts, and now I think we're tackling one of our like 10,000 student loans, $10,000 student loans.
Yeah.
And that should be done fairly quickly.
Yeah. So step 3 is.
So step 3 is we're revisiting the $1,000 emergency fund, and now we're gonna build that to 3 to 6 months expenses. So the 3 to 6 months expenses is mainly your must-pay bills, your mortgage, your groceries. If you lose your job, you need to be able to stay afloat for 3 to 6 months.
Right.
Dave Ramsey mentions 3 months if your job is like stable, or 6 months if you're kind of like us and she does freelance. I mean, she has a stable job, but if she was solely freelancing, you'd want to save up 6, since the salary's kind of up and down. So you want to be able to kind of keep afloat.
Right.
And I think that's important, especially for a time like now. You want to have those funds available in case a job loss or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. So it's really looking at the bigger picture, and it's not just saying, why in the world would I want to save this much money and not touch it, but it's really there for your benefit.
And this 3 to 6 months is like, and I say liquid cash, and liquid cash is something that you have available, like that you can go to the bank and grab it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't suggest to keep money under your bed. That's not a good idea, but a savings account where you can go to the bank and just take it out. Nothing that's stuck somewhere that you can't get in case an emergency happens. A rainy day is gonna happen, and you need to have an umbrella, as one of our FPU leaders had mentioned.
Yes.
So then, once you're done 1, 2, and 3, you're completely out of debt. And this is kind of where the class gets fun, or these steps really get fun. Step 4, 5, and 6.
Yes, this is where you want to be.
Yeah, and
this is where you want.
And when we get here, this is where you start building up, and you start seeing, like, hey man, I can retire with $2 million.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Like, I can be wealthy.
Right. So 4, 5, and 6, you actually start doing them together. Steps 1, 2, and 3, you do them consecutively or in order.
Yeah.
And then 4, 5, and 6 you do together. So step 4 is, say, 15% of your income for retirement, 15% of my income, 15% of her income. You start saving that towards your retirement. Step 5, in our case, we save for our kids' college.
Which is only 1 right now.
1 for now, 2 later.
But it will be 2.
So we start saving for our retirement, start saving for our kids' college. You kind of just put money aside for them. And then step 6 is paying off your house. And then I think probably your favorite.
Oh yeah, so step 7 is, I believe Dave calls it outrageous generosity. So outrageous generosity is really, at least to me, like, it's the end goal. Not only is it the end of the 7 steps, but it's really where everything that you have worked for is like, all right, all your debts are paid off. Your kids have money to go to school. You're retired or set up for retirement. You own your house, you own your cars. You don't have any payments aside from literally just paying your electric bill, your water, whatever. Now you've got literally just money.
Yeah.
And so outrageous generosity is all about giving back. And it's really about, like, where you can give back with all of this extra money that you have, all the things that you can do now that you literally don't have to worry about paying debt, right? So, like, what does that mean? Well, if you belong to a church, now you can give substantially more to a church, and maybe it's not just tithing, not tithing just your 10%, but now you can give an offering also, like, this month you want to tithe and also give an offering, or you want to give to a charity, or you want to take your family out to a nice dinner, or you want to treat your husband to a really nice gift, or your wife. And honestly, it's really, really the most I think, fun part, because now it's when you get to like, you can do whatever the heck you want with your money, because you are not tied to anyone or anything, because you've already made all the smart decisions with your money. You know what I mean? You're literally set for life. So now it's spoil people if you want to. That's what I want to do. I think it's really in my heart to just want to like make people smile. And I know that that's like, not everybody is the kind of person that's like a gift giver. I very much so am that person. Like, I like to give gifts. I'm the kind of person, like, when I'm out in the store, if I see like Chris's favorite candy bar, like I pick it up, and it's not anything big, you know, but sometimes you can't spend $5 on like something because money's so tight, you know? So more than anything, the end goal is to get to just where you can be outrageously generous.
As of right now, I think we're doing my Excel calculations. I'm probably the nerd of the two, spender nerd.
Probably.
Doing, writing all of this down, doing the budget. I think if you can take anything away from this, is the budget.
We want to share that with you guys, because I'm pretty sure we've killed it.
Yeah. So we'll make a video breaking down the budget. We'll show how we're doing the debt snowball. As of right now, we are kind of on track to be debt free. That's $48,000 right now by the end of 2021. Probably sooner. I think once we get close, we'll really just start kind of like killing that and be done before 2021.
Honestly, I am so excited to get out of debt. Both of our cars need us to get out of debt.
We're due for new cars. Kind of keep a lookout for some of our future videos. Well, like I said, go over budgeting. We'll go over the debt snowball.
We're gonna cover all of it.
We'll go over kind of all the steps and things that we do and things that we like. We'll also link down below Dave Ramsey's channel. I think he's a great inspiration for us. I'm stuck on YouTube all day watching him. Yeah,
Dave is amazing. Amazing. And he's so inspiring, and honestly, it's like tough love, you know? He kind of, to the people that listen in on his radio show, it feels like he's sticking his hand through the radio.
Slapping me.
Come on, wake up. What are you doing? But people need tough love and stuff like that. So anyway, we hope that you have enjoyed this video. We are so happy that we are finally doing this, because so many people have motivated us to do it, and they've just like have been motivated by us, so we just want to continue to motivate people. So if you liked this video, do us a favor, like, subscribe, and just keep in touch with us, you know? Share the video if you were into it, and
definitely write write some comments. We'll be sure to answer if you guys have any questions or any suggestions for things like that.
Suggestions would be dope.
We'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.